Hi, I'm Malik from Connect Futures. Let me guide you through the Media Literacy Ambassador Program of 2025 that we've been delivering over the last 6 months in East Birmingham secondary schools, commissioned by Ofcom.
I'm Diane Kemp and I'm joined today by students from Holy Trinity School who are going to be arguing for and against the proposition that social media encourages toxic relationships. Because Shuk, you actually are arguing against this. You don't think that social media encourages those toxic relationships. What's that based on? Why?
Because social media can be a good way to communicate with new people, and some people actually can make good friends if they know how to use social media. But I also think that if some social media websites make warnings and ways to teach you how to use it properly, then you will know how to communicate with the good people that you actually can connect and be friends with.
But you heard them both argue that actually sometimes those people aren't kind of good actors, they are out sort of to manipulate. And so surely that, where that happens, social media does encourage toxic relationships.
It does actually encourage, but it doesn't always have to be that way. If someone knows how to use social media, then that's how they can actually get the friends that they need or want.
So you think it's a really good way of increasing your friends, stopping people feeling isolated, that kind of thing?
Yes, that's because some people in real life don't have the courage to make friends face to face. Some people actually want to talk to people through social media and connect with them.
I learned how to be confident with myself and to believe that I actually can be good in what I'm doing, and that something might not always be what it seems. So I was nervous, but a lot of people told me that I was being confident.
So joining me now to argue about the fact that whether social media is good for young people, either they're for or against it, here are the students from Waverly School.
No matter where you are in the world, there will always be hate. But the thing we need to do as young people is deal with this hate. If we keep on thinking social media is bad, we shouldn't be using it, how are older people going to view social media? They'll be like, oh, we don't need it. They won't be on social media. So how do we teach young people who are on social media to be better if older people don't use it? We can't. So instead of seeing social media as a bad thing, we need to show that it can be used good, and that we have to teach young people how to use it appropriately.
I think we learn more how to be independent, and how when you're researching stuff, you don't need to be afraid of asking people as well. You don't need to be afraid. You can just be yourself and actually ask instead of keeping it to yourself.
And I am delighted to be joined today by the Eden Boys School, who are here in force to talk about, for and against, the proposition social media is detrimental to your mental health. Now, I think we can have some strong feelings on both sides. Who's going to win?
But the thing is, with that cyber trolling, that can really mess up your mental health. It can cause a lot of changes, especially for parents realising that their child's going through things. And when you're growing up, you have a lot of these hormones and your body changes and everything like that. With that cyberbullying, it can really mess on your mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a point that's been borne out by research. So, Adnan, how on earth are you going to argue against that? I mean, that's clear, isn't it? It is bad for your mental health.
Yeah, well, miss, online, people use it as a gateway to escape reality, maybe take something off their chest, maybe relieve some stress by talking to someone online. And I think that's quite good for young people to use, as someone may not want to talk to their friends or their family in real life because they just might feel shame of something, and online it might be easier to talk to someone because you don't know them and they're just there to help. But in other times, as he said, it can be detrimental because people don't know what you're going through, and that they can say harmful stuff. But it's about how you use the internet and where you go and who you're speaking to. It's something that you need to control in order to have a good experience on the web. So you think it's in the individual's hands, really, to kind of make sure that they're safe and it isn't bad for them?
It was good. It was good. I gained a lot of confidence today. I learned how to speak on camera without getting shy. I learned how to stutter less. And it was just really good. It was like a nice vibe to be with my friends, to be with people from other schools, to debate with them. It really improved my debating skills as well. I was able to like get my points across and counter other points as well.
And I'm joined today by students from Ark Victoria Academy who are here to argue for and against a really important and very difficult proposition, and that is that social media is the most effective vessel for grooming.
In my opinion, I strongly disagree with her, because if we were talking about grooming in real life is like a lot harder to escape than grooming online, because in real life you're face to face with the groomer, the pedophile, while online it's just a click of a button, of a report button or block button, and you won't ever see or hear them again. Okay. Which is why I believe that social media isn't the most effective vessel for grooming teenagers.
Okay, and that it's got other advantages kind of thing, so yeah, why would you not use it? I mean, you would say that it's not the most effective of grooming. There's good things about social media.
Yes, on the other side of what she's saying, there's always a chance, and there'll always be parents to stop them. And even if there aren't parents, there are age restrictions that are made to stop them. And usually the age restriction is 13. Once you're above 13, you should be intelligent enough to know whether you're being groomed or not. And if you are being groomed or not, it's easy to just back away and not engage.
Is that how grooming works, though, do you think? You know, that somebody just thinks, well, I'm intelligent enough to spot it, but isn't grooming about kind of getting behind people's sort of insecurities and things like that? Hard to do, then?
Yes, but ways to battle that is that you can ask people about how it is. Like, for example, CEOP, Children's Exploitation and Online Protection. They teach you and they show you how to stay away from groomers. There's many different child lines made just for that purpose.
I think the benefits of the Media Literacy Ambassador workshop, in particular working with yourself, was an opportunity for the students to come together as a big group. I think they developed their independent skills in being able to search for information around topics that they've probably been introduced to in school, but not necessarily given the opportunity to sort of search outside of a sort of classroom environment. So I think that was effective. For them learning a little bit more, especially from the lived experiences that you shared with them, I think that was beneficial. It sort of brought it to life for them. And then an opportunity for them to work as a team, sort of script their ideas together in a short space of time as well. So there was a little bit of problem solving for them, working towards an end goal and having that sense of achievement.
And I'm joined today by students from the Rockwood Academy who are going to be arguing for and against the proposition. Interesting, bearing in mind we're in a television studio, for and against freedom of speech.
I personally believe that freedom of speech is an essential part of daily life, because how else are you supposed to voice your opinions, whether it's regarding political issues, worldly issues, or it could be anything. For example, if you don't like this chocolate bar, we can also range to many things, like if you don't think the government is doing this right or that. I believe it's very important because it's also a way where people can learn, specifically like if someone may have some racist beliefs or maybe some Islamophobic beliefs, going online and seeing how different people express themselves and their opinions, they can also learn from them, because majority of the time when people are hateful towards people, it's just because they don't understand that person. But thanks to freedom of speech, it creates a better understanding between different groups, because online everyone's from a different background, different space, and it helps people. They can say what they want whenever they want in any way or form, and as long as they keep it respectful, freedom of speech is a very good, I think it's necessary and it's a very vital part of social media.
Well, there we are. I mean, so again, how are you going to argue against that? Because that's the reason why we need free speech, surely.
I agree with him to an extent, because some people can be very closed-minded, and they will just speak freely without thinking that they might harm someone's feelings or offend them or their beliefs. Some people are racist, like they go against others' culture just because they're different, but some people don't realise that everyone else is not the same and they're all unique in their own way.
I mean, you know, If you go against freedom of speech, does that mean that you don't allow for what this group is saying, which is that you might educate others? What do you say to that? Isn't it important to have that freedom of speech because you might educate people who are these unpleasant trolls and racists and others that you refer to?
He did say educate people, but loads of people can also spread misinformation about education, whether it's cultures or just the world's beliefs or whatever it is.
Without freedom of speech, they'd carry on to spread the misinformation through other matters, like other means. However, if they're educated about it, then they might eventually understand what's like right.
And who's going to do that education, do you think?
The people who are like from the other backgrounds.
And that's to do with the fact that actually if you're all on there and able to have those discussions, you've got half a chance, do you think, of,
Yes.
of being able to persuade people?
Yeah.
That's a really important message, isn't it?
I think honestly today it showed them where they could go. I think something that they wouldn't normally have. So being able to go and sit in one of those studios to see how it's set up, it really opens their eyes to sort of different jobs that they could do. Also going onto the set, I think that was a really good experience. I think they realised how hard it can be, but also with a bit of prep, they're able to do really well. And I think some of them did better than they thought. Some of them might have done a bit worse. And so they can go back and have a look and say, well, if I want to do something like this, these are the things I need to skill up on. But I also thought they had a fantastic experience. I think they did much better than probably they thought they would do when they came in the first place.